Like utter crap, but your lab results are normal, then you may simply just not be running the right labs. I'm going to take you through some labs that are my core foundation ones that I like to start with my clients, and show you how that helps us build into knowing what other labs maybe you need to run and how to kind of put your protocol together as a whole. So this client, was told, you probably have PCOS. She was dealing with really bad cystic acne. She had really, really irregular cycles ever since she started getting her cycle when she was 13. And, lots of mood swings and couldn't lose weight no matter what. So something that I always start with is I like to start with a Dutch panel. And so this is part of the overview. In the Dutch panel, you can see it has your progesterone metabolites, it has our estrogen here, it has our androgens, and over here we're talking about methylation, which really gives us insight into how our liver is keeping up with everything. So when you look at these results, a lot of times people will be like, oh my goodness, she has really, really high estrogen. We should just put her on DIM. We should put her on indole 3-carbinol, something to bring down that estrogen. And that's going to just solve all of these issues. And I don't necessarily agree with that. And this is how my approach is different. I'm not going to just recommend things based off of this test. I'm going to, let's look deeper. So when we're looking at these estrogens up here at the top, our primary estrogens, E1, E2, and E3, when we see really, really high E3, I'm like thinking over here, okay, what's going on in the gut? Or are you pregnant? And she's not pregnant. So that was not an issue there. And so we're thinking already in our mind, we're going, there's something going on in the gut that is causing this really, really high E3. And so, this explains a lot of symptoms here, right? So when I look at these estrogens up here, I like to give this example of the drain in your bathtub and the sewer. So if your estrogen in your body is the water, and you have a lot of water coming in, and your drain isn't completely open, which you can tell, we're not moving a lot down this 2OH pathway, that's going to tell us, okay, our drain really isn't open. So is it necessarily is just putting on a supplement to lower estrogen going to fix the issue? Or are you going to have to do more work here to actually open up that drain and help get everything moving? This is where you need to start thinking of what is actually the problem here. And then as we keep going, here's another page of this test, and it's talking more about the cortisol here. And when we're looking at this, what I wanted to show you was this pattern. Oops, I need to move myself. Cortisol is supposed to go up, down, and down. You can see that black line is what that pattern should follow. And this is often, again, where people are like, oh, my cortisol levels were normal. But you are super tired, or you're super anxious, or you're super moody, or you feel wired all the time. That's where we also want to follow this pattern. Now, when I see this pattern and it goes up, down, and up, I'm thinking, okay, again, something's going on in the gut here. So blood sugar balance can do that. Parasites can do that. So now we know we need to dig deeper. Something is going on in the gut that is causing hormones to kind of go, ugh, right? Our liver is definitely needing some support to help move everything. So you see why just looking at what estrogen, at why it's so high, isn't the answer here. Just going on a supplement to lower estrogen isn't going to fix her issue. You need to keep digging. Which we did, and we did keep digging, and we did find out, yeah, she's dealing with some parasites, and yes, we are dealing with some blood sugar imbalance issues. And as we started to clean that up, her skin started to clear up, and she started ovulating regularly, and she started having regular cycles. And so the other one I like to run right off the bat is the hair mineral analysis, because it helps guide us again on what we're looking for. And when we're running a hair mineral analysis, this can be really, really tricky, because a lot of times people want to look at a hair mineral analysis like they would a blood test, and you don't look at them the same. So just because a level shows high on a hair mineral analysis doesn't necessarily mean it's high. You actually need to look at the other cofactors in the test and be like, okay, is this a loss? Are you just not absorbing it? You have to look at everything together. So on our first test, we always start with these 4 main minerals: calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. And again, we're thinking about her symptoms, right? She was having cystic acne, she was having irregular ovulations, she can't lose weight. We know on her Dutch test her cortisol pattern was off. We know her estrogen's really, really high. So then we come over, so we want to look, you want to look at the whole test, but for this video's sake, I want you to look at that sodium, potassium, and look at how low they are, okay? So sodium is very, very low, and potassium is very, very low. And those are 2 minerals that your adrenals use and need, right? And so we're over here, we're thinking, we're using our little noggins, and we're going, okay, this is definitely going to be affecting that cortisol pattern, right? It's definitely going to be affecting your energy. Your body needs to feel safe. It needs to not feel stressed in order to ovulate, because your body is smart, right? And if it feels stressed, it feels like it can't handle a pregnancy, even if she's not trying to get pregnant. The body's like, the best way we know how to make sure this doesn't happen if we don't feel adequate enough is to just not ovulate, right? So I always look at those minerals in relation to irregular ovulations and be like, okay, what's kind of going on there? And then we also see that she has a lot of heavy metals. She's releasing a lot of aluminum, a lot of arsenic, a lot of mercury. And so again, we want to figure out, where is your source of these metals coming from? Like, where are you coming into contact with it? And, we'll go over, what kind of symptoms those heavy metals can cause. Heavy metals, having higher heavy metals can make it a lot harder to lose weight as well. So that was just 2 of the tests. Those are like the ones I like to start with, and then we will build out depending on what is showing up in those tests, right? So, when we saw those estrogens and all of those flags for gut, we were like, okay, we need to dig deeper into this gut and figure out why that's affecting these hormones in that way. And the minerals help guide you. I feel like this is a great jumping off point. Instead of being like, oh, I need blah, 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 all these labs. It's like, well, maybe you don't, Let's start with some foundation ones and help them guide us on where you are needing to go. And, she has been on her protocol, and she's been working through this, and she's ovulated 5 cycles in a row, 5 months in a row. Her skin is cleared up and she's losing weight. Mood and energy is so much better. So, when you get the right protocol for you, when everything's personalized to you, that is when this can be life-changing. And she's she's busy. She's a busy person. She travels a lot. And so I don't want you to think that just because you're busy doesn't mean that you can't take care of your health, right? You need to take care of your health. You need to prioritize taking care of your health before your health prioritizes you slowing down. Okay, so these are the 2 labs that I start with and run with my Hormone Reset Premium Access clients. So that is literally what it sounds like, Premium Access, one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in doing that, you can just apply at the link in my bio.